Hello team. Can you guys hear me all right? Hello, James, Daniel, Anthony, and Jackie Boy. All right. All right. Well, got another weekly Q&A. Today's a rather interesting day for me personally, but hope you guys have been doing well. Just feel free to start throwing at your questions or what you want to know, or what I've been up to last week, or what you guys have been up to last week. Let's get this party started. Great that you've been doing well, Jackie boy. Hope you've been playing something or being productive. I still don't know how to put this damn thing on. You gotta watch Alien Romulus? You know what? Maybe. That's a maybe. Deadpool was really the last movie I had on my list of like movies that eventually got to the level of I'm gonna see. Sadly, I didn't get the popcorn bucket, as you guys know. But yeah, that was really it. I'm on the fence if I want to go see Gladiator because I don't know, the trailer's really throwing me off. Maybe a second trailer might fix my opinion on that. Alien Romulus, that's also a maybe. Only if I hear really, really good things about it. But like it's not on like my top high priority of films. It looks like it'd just be like a safe alien movie that doesn't do anything too crazy. I know you deep hate for, but would you say that she's tolerable in the Justice League show? Not really. Any episode she's not in, I enjoy. Anytime she shows up to, I can't do anything but groan. I will say this, there is one episode I do like that has Wonder Woman in it, and it's the episode that's called The Man Who Has Everything. It's a pretty famous story in comic books, and pretty much Mongol just beating the crap out of Wonder Woman. So I think I could say, yeah, that's one episode of that has Wonder Woman in it that I like. When she's getting the crap beat out of her. Payday's tomorrow. Ooh, same here. So you get to start an amp prompt. Ooh. Well, I got an amp prompt too, so I don't know. Maybe you'll make one that's better than mine. Hello, Caleb. How you doing? Welcome. Also, cool ass shirt. Thanks. This is actually an older one. You know, I've been thinking about getting a better camera because I think moving forward, I think definitely sometime next year I want to start doing 4K videos, and I'm just not sure if this webcam is doing it for me enough. I want it to be a little bit sharper, so I've actually been looking not only for a new 4K camera for next year, but I'm trying to find a new webcam that's sharper for live streams, and I'm trying to get myself ready for my upcoming 2 trips. So yeah. What's the next film you're gonna see after Deadpool 3? Again, I really don't know what's coming out. Does Sonic 3 come out this year? I think it might. Like, now that I think about it, Sonic 3 probably will be the next 100% you're gonna see that one. But like the other ones, like Alien and Romulus, that's a maybe, and Gladiator 2, that's a maybe. But now that I think about it, if Sonic 3 does come out this year, that's a day one we're gonna go see. Because originally I wasn't planning on seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, but like they revealed that popcorn bucket and I immediately pre-ordered. Sadly, as I'm sure some of you guys know in my review, they sold out. There's only, think about it, for a city as big as Las Vegas, there's only 2 AMC theaters for a city the size of Las Vegas, and the one that I could get to closest ran out of those buckets probably by the first or second showing. I could only get to the third, so yeah, I was pretty sad about that. Your camera is fine. I think it's fine, but I want to improve. I want to get better, so that's why I'm looking to get into a better camera. Because the camera I've been using for my videos, I can't believe this. I've had that for 5 years. That's crazy. I've had that exact same camera for 5 years. I've had this particular webcam for 6. So I think that's a good enough time to upgrade or get some better equipment. Even though it works fine, but heck, I want to improve. I'm still trying to find a way to build my audience and get more views. Do I watch any kung fu movies? I can, but I wouldn't say I'm like the biggest kung fu fan. I mean, it's not something I go out of my way to go and see, but like heck, if I happen to run across one, heck, I'll check it out. You dig Shadow? I like Shadow. He's cool. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan, but like I'm interested in seeing Shadow on the big screen. So yeah. But again, I was more of a Mario person. It was my brother who's the Sonic person. So I know he's excited. Yeah, people munching on popcorn like it's going extinct. Believe it or not, there were actually not too many people who had popcorn during my showing. It really wasn't. So I mean, I was sitting in front of in a good group of people, and it was a pretty fun experience. So yeah, I've never had that experience, but if you have, then I'm sorry for you, buddy. You have any plans on any Sonic games? No. I can't even remember the last time I played a Sonic game. I think the only Sonic type game I remember playing was it was at this arcade, and it was like this Sonic Mario like Olympics game, and it just had you like run on this pad on the floor. I think they just announced that they're stopped making those games, but like that's the last Sonic related game that I can recall I played. Again, I was more of a Mario person. Am I looking forward to Sonic 3 this Christmas? Yes, that is the only movie on my radar that is a definite we'll see in theaters. Definite. And if you're telling me it's coming out around Christmas, then that'll probably be the last movie I see this year. But yeah, that's 100%. Would you travel? Would I travel internationally for a convention? I think it depends on what the convention is and where it's located. I think those are the two things that would have to determine that. So it depends on what convention and where it's located. Like, originally, I always wanted to go to Tokyo, but like, seeing how negatively tourists act over there and how I feel bad for the locals, I gave up on wanting to ever go to Japan just so I didn't want to risk making the locals uncomfortable. So that's a dream I had for a long time that I told my brother I officially gave up. I just feel bad. It's like I think I can respect Japanese culture from a distance instead of going there and risking to accidentally offend anyone, because that's something I would feel awful about. So yeah. So again, if I did want to go to a con internationally, it very much depends on what it is and where it's located. Favorite Tim Burton films? Well, let's see. Just off the top of my head, I'd go with the first Batman, Nightmare Before Christmas, Tim Burton, Sleepy Hollow. That's a big one. Not the biggest fan of Edward Scissorhands or Beetlejuice. Not into Sweetie Todd. Didn't like Alice in Wonderland too much. But I'm going to check out Beetlejuice too. So those are just a few off the top of my head that are like, some of my favorite Tim Burton films. Favorite Bad Boys movie? That's tough because I haven't watched the latest one, and I don't think I'll ever watch it. Damn, that's tough. I want to lean. I want to lean towards the second one. I think the second one's the one I've seen the most. So that's what I'll go with. I liked the third one, and I liked the first one. And I really liked the second one. but I think the second one's the one I've probably seen the most times and had the most fun with. So yeah, I go with that one, James. You guys got anything else for me? Hey, what's up, Mayboom? Welcome to the stream. How about my favorite Will Smith movie? Okay, okay, James, I need you to clarify this. Is Will Smith in the movie, or is he the primary lead? Because there's two different answers for that. So specify, like, because there's a number of movies where Will Smith is in the film, but like he's a big character, but he isn't the lead. And then there's other movies where he is in fact the primary lead. So be specific, and I could give you one of two answers. Thoughts on the game Dynamite Cop? I've never played Dynamite Cop, nor have I ever heard of that. Is that a new game or an arcade game or a retro game? Caleb, I'm not familiar with that. Favorite Tom Cruise movie? Ooh, okay. The Last Samurai. Easy. Last Samurai. I think I could openly say that The Last Samurai is the reason I'm interested in Japanese culture. That's one of the very few movies I actually saw with my dad alone. I think over the course of my life, I saw 4 movies with Dad. I saw the remake of Island of Dr. Moreau. I saw Flyboy, Red Tails, Man of Steel. No, it's 5 movies. There's a movie with Bruce Willis and Colin Farrell called Hearts Wars. That was a weird one. And I know we saw The Last Samurai together. So it was, no, wait, 6. Because I talked my dad into seeing Kazam. And he didn't seem to have a fun time seeing that film. And I was like a kid. So yeah, 6 films. But yeah, definitely favorite Tom Cruise movie, The Last Samurai. That is incredible film. I still watch it to this day. Do I watch Men in Black? Believe it or not, I actually just rewatched Men in Black. The first one, it's on Peacock. I think the first 3 are on Peacock. So I recently saw that like just this last week. It was a fun movie. And believe it or not, that may have been the last movie that I saw at a drive-in with my family. When I was younger, we would actually go to there's only one drive-in here in Vegas. We would actually go to it and we would see movies. There's only 2 movies we ever saw in the drive-in, and that was the movie Anacondas and Men in Black. And I wasn't interested in Anacondas, so I just looked around and I watched a movie. Not sure if you guys remember this. It was a movie called The Warriors of Virtue. And it was about like kung fu fighting kangaroos. I couldn't hear what was happening, but I was watching the film. So while they were watching Anacondas through the windshield window, I was in the back watching Warriors of Virtue. Even though I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I could see what was going on. Boy, if any of you remember that film, that's how you know you're old. Because I recently rewatched that film, and boy, do I have some strong opinions. Would you compare Koba to Joker? No. Not even close. Primary lead Will Smith? Okay. This is going to sound weird, but if Will Smith in a primary lead role, some people are going to think I'm crazy for this, and I know Will Smith hates this film, but I fucking love this movie, and that's Wild Wild West. I don't give a I love that movie. I know that movie inside and out. I know all the lines from beginning to end. I could impersonate any scene from that film. I genuinely enjoy Wild Wild West. Now, maybe because I was a kid when I saw that and had such a great ass time, but easily Wild Wild West. even though I've been told Will Smith hates that film. But I love that film. Dreamcast? Yeah, no. Oh yeah, Dreamcast, no. No. Last Samurai is absolutely. You know, the funny thing is, my mom. This is funny. My mom found a box of mine that apparently I misplaced when I was moving, and my mom found my DVD collection. I've been looking for this. I didn't know where they went. Apparently, they were in storage, and I think I know I have a copy of it somewhere. So yeah. Let's see. I know I have it in here. Yeah. So yeah, I rediscovered my. Oh damn. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll do it. Okay, because I'm not going crazy then. Ah, yeah, here it is. Yep, right here. Yep, this is my original copy of The Last Samurai. I used to work at a Walgreens, and I had to get myself a copy of this. So yeah, this is my original DVD widescreen copy of Last Samurai. Favorite James Gunn movie? I don't think I have one. Anthony, have I ever seen Vanilla Sky? Yes, I have seen that movie many times. The one where Tom Cruise like freezes himself and then he starts having a dream and it starts messing up, and he messes up his face, and like his relationship with like two girls gets messed up, and the movie ends with him throwing himself off a building and him waking up. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that movie many times. Kangaroo? No. Yes, look it up. Warriors of Virtue. It's a movie about kung fu fighting kangaroos. It's ridiculous. Oh, it's ridiculous, but it's fun. And I actually thought the fight scenes were cool as a kid, and then if you actually watch them, holy shit! I hope whoever filmed that never worked on a movie again, because the fight scenes are done they're done with like a fast camera, and so the fight scenes are all blurry. Like you can barely tell what's going on. Like I think they did that on purpose. It's weird. Look it up. I'm telling you, it's quite something. Oh yeah, the music video was cool. Absolutely. I don't see that as a guilty pleasure. I generally like that film. I really do. I'll defend it. There's a lot of things about that movie. I mean, the idea of a giant 80-foot steampunk tarantula. Yeah, that might sound kind of ridiculous, but it's cool too. You guys got anything else? This stream's going well. Have I seen Jerry Maguire? Yes, I have, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. Thoughts on the movie? It's hard to tell because the heart's blocking it. Dumbo, with the flying elephant with giant ears for wings. It's okay. It's not my favorite classic Disney movie, but I think it's okay. It's not something I would ever go out of my way to rewatch, but I saw it a few times when I was a kid, and I thought it was okay. Will what, Daniel? Okay, must have mistyped it. Could you imagine Will Smith as... It's hard to tell. Neo? Yeah. Thinking back, that would have been a very different film. I feel like. I'm glad they went with Keanu Reeves. I mean, I wish. Maybe I don't wish, but I'm curious of what that would have been like. But I don't. I just don't think with him being the actor he was at the time, I just don't think that would have worked as well. Plus, you're right. Come on, looking at now. That's unusual. It says everybody's gone. You've been thinking about getting Final Fantasy 12. Should I beat 10 first? Honestly, Caleb, here's the thing about Final Fantasy. There is no right way to play Final Fantasy. You can start literally whenever you want. You can start off with any game. Because they don't interlock, they don't follow each other, there's no right or wrong way to start Final Fantasy. You can start with any. If you want to start off with a game like 6 or 7, you want to start off with something like 12 or 15 or 16, you go right ahead. Whatever game, whichever entry you are the most interested in trying, go ahead and play it. Because like I didn't start playing Final Fantasy till 7. 7 was my introduction, and then it wasn't until I played 8, I skipped 9, I played 10. It wasn't until I was a bit older I actually went back and found a number of really good emulators that allowed me to play and beat some of the older Final Fantasy games. So there's no right way to play it. Just finished Stellar Blade, great game. We'll see if a sequel in the future. They might make a sequel to that. I'd be surprised if they didn't. Because I think financially it was quite successful, and I do think it was a great game. I stand by that. I do think it was a pretty great game. Fun. It was exactly the type of like RPG action hack and slash that I typically end up enjoying. You're playing Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake for the first time. Ever played it? Yes, I have. I've played most Metal Gear games. I think the only ones I haven't played is maybe... Okay, I didn't really like 5. I've never played 5. I've played 5 Ground Zero, but I never played Phantom Pain. I never played, I believe, Acid 1. I think I have Acid 2. I remember there was a Metal Gear game that came out on Game Boy. If I remember correctly, it was called like Metal Gear, like let me double check. I know there was a Game Boy game. And I'm not going crazy. I know there was something on Game Boy. I just can't. Yes. It was Metal Gear Ghost Babel. It came out on Game Boy Color. And there's also a version of Metal Gear Solid also on the Game Boy Color. So that is something. And it's rated E. That's weird. Like how much did they strip out? Like, you'd have to strip out a lot to make it. You know how hard that had to have been? How the hell you make an E-rated version of Metal Gear? Like, do you know, like heck, you can't even have guns in E games, can you? as far as I know. Thoughts on the Bourne movies? I think the first three are really good. I I didn't care much for the Bourne film that had Jeremy Renner in it. I didn't care much for that. And I think they did like a fourth Bourne film that I just wasn't interested into. I think they filmed that here in Vegas, but I never saw it. I felt the third one was good. I actually saw that movie in theaters with my family, so I felt the third one was a good place to stop. So yeah, past the third one, I really don't have much of an opinion. Hello, Cerberus. Welcome. Ghost Babel. Yes. Yeah, I have not played Ghost Babel. I don't even know what that one would be about. I don't. Maybe I'm curious. That sounds like that's a weird title for a Metal Gear game. How am I doing? I'm doing okay, Cerberus. How are you doing? I'm just I was actually in a, especially today of all days, I was in a kind of a like a mid mood, but then I spent a lot of time talking to a good friend of mine, and then I just even before stream I was talking to bro for a bit, and that's put me in a better mood, especially this week. This week was definitely a little interesting, but yeah, I'm doing all right. I swear, I hope this count isn't correct because it says there's literally only two people in here. I'm okay. Started my second playthrough of Persona 4 Golden so I can get the true ending. Ah, that's nice. I hope you're having a fun time with that, because, heck, I know I had a fun time. I've done multiple run-throughs of Persona 5, so, yeah, I definitely know that feeling. Man, it is really quiet today. Thoughts on Batman Forever? Heck, I love that film. That's the Batman Forever is important to me. I don't care what anyone says. I thought Val Kilmer did a great job as Bruce Wayne and Batman. I thought how they handled Robin was okay. Jim Carrey, it was absolutely hilarious. I really enjoyed Tommy Lee Jones, even though he claims he absolutely hates that movie and he hated working with Jim Carrey. I thought they were great on screen. That movie not only helped me become a Batman fan, that was my introduction to Batman. That movie is half of the reason that the color green is my favorite color. Because you got to remember, the primary color for Batman Forever was green. In fact, I wish I had one around my desk. You have to remember, Power Rangers was really big in the mid '90s, and so I think Batman Forever and the Green Ranger as for why my favorite color is green. And on top of that, not sure if you guys remember this, but McDonald's had like a special glass collection of Batman Forever cups. I actually have those. In fact, I think I actually I keep them kind of spread out. Yeah, I think I. Yeah, right here. I'm not sure if you guys remember these. I think I got like two of them here, and The other two are in the shed, and yeah, I actually still have my entire collection. It's a little hard to see. You might be able to see it. Let's see. This one, it's a little hard to see. This one's the Riddler, and that's the device he uses to put the question mark in. Right there on the bottom, it says, let me see if I can get the right angle. This is Batman Forever. And then this one is Robin, and this is when he steals, it's a little hard to see. This one is when he steals the Batmobile and then hops into the Batboat. And this one too says Batman Forever on the bottom. And I think Two-Face and Batman are in my cup cabinet in the kitchen. Thoughts on Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures? I'll be honest, Caleb, I don't really know them that well, if I'm being fair. I've heard of them, but I don't know them too well. The first four, I think Batman and Robin is the only bad one. I just spoke about that. It may be bad, but to be fair, I think it's probably... Damn, there's a serious delay. I think there's a... Man, there is a serious delay in terms of recording, because I'm just watching the actual stream, and you guys are behind by at least a minute. Oh, this is kind of crazy. So I'm just giving you a heads up that at the time of, because I can see myself in recording live, and then I'm seeing the stream that you guys are seeing, and you guys are like a minute behind. So I've never had a delay be that bad, but we'll do our best. But I'm thankful for that Batman and Robin was the way it was, because if it wasn't, and it had been a good or a great film, we never would have gotten the Dark Knight trilogy. So, knowing that, would you really change anything about Batman and Robin? I wouldn't. Where would you put Deadpool and Wolverine on my ranking of X-Men movies? It might be in top 10, but it might be... Okay, let me go in order. Deadpool and Wolverine. I wouldn't put it over the first X-Men film. I wouldn't put it over the second one. I'd put it over the third. I would definitely put it over X-Men Origins, big time. I wouldn't put it over First Class. I would put it over The Wolverine. I wouldn't put it over the first Deadpool. The second Deadpool's tough. But I would put it above Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. So given that, I think if I were to rank it, it would definitely be in the top 10, but I think it would be in either spots 9 or 8. I can name 7 films I would put ahead of that. I liked what they did, but I just think the plot just... There's too many extra things that you had to know to really understand key elements. And that kind of distracted. But again, I'm saying this after having seen it like 4 times. I think, again, had I stuck with just seeing this film only once, I probably would put it much higher. But like, once I really could see the film critically, I could see the problems that I had with the film and why I think that while I think Deadpool and Wolverine is a more entertaining film than the second one, I think the second one was a lot easier to follow. So it's hard for me to know which one I would say is better. But that's just my thoughts. But I know I would not put Deadpool and Wolverine in my top 5. I wouldn't. Yeah. Thanks, Caleb. I think Batman and Robin's okay. X-Men 3 is another film I dig and most people hate. I don't think X-Men 3 is that bad. Similar to something like Spider-Man 3. Does it have a lot of problems and a lot of flaws? Yes. But am I okay with it? Yes. I'm okay with how it came out. I thought it had an incredible... It's got a number of key moments I think are really incredible and an incredible soundtrack. But you have to remember a lot of comic book trilogies were going in that direction, and that's how it goes for a lot of them, even the most successful ones. I mean, you look at Spider-Man, First Spider-Man movie was good. Second one was great. Third one, not so much. Blade 1 was great. Blade 2 is even better. Blade 3, not so much. Heck, even The Dark Knight. Batman Begins, good. Dark Knight, even better. Dark Knight Rises, it's the weakest of the three, but it's still a great film. A lot of trilogies were going in that direction. In the X-Men, first one, good movie. Second one, great film. Third one, not so much. So that's a pretty common practice. Who do you think is Spider-Man's biggest? Who do you think this Spider-Man's? What do you mean? What do I think is Spider-Man's biggest flaws? I think that it's got. It doesn't. I don't think it executes the villains well enough. It kind of had the similar problem with, like, I want to say The Amazing Spider-Man 2, because you have to remember it was trying to balance out Sandman, Venom, and Green Goblin. I don't think it did a good enough job. When you look at the first film, one villain. Second movie, one villain. This one had three, and apparently they just threw in Venom for the sake of it. They originally were not going to put Venom in there. It was supposed to be Vulture, and I'm curious what that film would have been like. But I think had Sam Raimi been allowed to make the film he wanted, it would have been a much better film. I think that adding Venom was a studio decision. Now, mind you, that film was very, very successful. I do believe out of the three Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, that one is the most successful box office wise. I think that may have even reached $1 billion. I may be wrong, but it's definitely the highest grossing one. But in terms of quality, it's a major step back behind the first two Spider-Man Sam Raimi films, big time. It's a better Dark Phoenix interpretation than Dark Phoenix. Yeah, I agree, man. Esteban, you get no argument from me. I'm with you. You guys got anything else? Do I read Kraven Last Hunt? No, Esteban, I have not read that one. Yeah, I just not to bring it up now. I just remember that there's supposed to be a Kraven movie, which again I totally forgot about. I don't know if I'll see that. That seems very unusual. Thoughts on the Green Lantern character in comics? Well, I guess it depends on which version you're talking about. Are we talking about like Hal Jordan or John Stewart or Guy Gardner or there's like a fourth primary one I can't even think of. But apparently he's supposed to show up in this new Superman film and he's played by Nathan Fillion. So that's all I know. X-Men 3 is a guilty pleasure of mine. I can respect that. Oh, Hal Jordan, yeah. Dang, man, 40 minutes have gone by. It's funny that Ryan Reynolds still mocks Green Lantern. He picked it! He's the one who picked it! Why didn't he say no? He must have read the script. They didn't even give him a real suit. That suit was entirely CG and it looked awful. That movie was, I think, for anyone who saw my latest ranking video, that movie was so forgettable. I saw it earlier in the day, went to go see First Class, and then when I got home, I completely forgot that I'd even seen Green Lantern that day. That's how forgettable it was. You're damn right that movie was bad. But, like, what was worse? What was worse? Ryan Reynolds in X-Men Wolverine Origins or Ryan Reynolds in Green Lantern? I think maybe he was worse because they sewed his mouth and he was hardly in the film. I think his first section he was okay. But then you you sew his mouth shut? Like, that's like Deadpool is his mouth for a reason. What are some trilogies where the first installment is my favorite? Ooh, damn, that's tough. First, I guess Men in Black. The first one I think is the best out of the primary three Will Smith ones and Tommy Lee Jones. I would say that one is definitely the best. If we ignore, well, I'm not sure if that counts. Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, the first one was the best. Man, that is a real tough one. I mean, if we're counting Avenger films, well, no, there are four of those technically. So, yeah, I'll be honest. Men in Black's the only one that's coming to my mind where I think the first one out of a trilogy is the best one. That's the only one that I can think of. Green Lantern effects were on the same level as X-Men. Oh dear God. Oh my God, those claws were awful. Oh my God, those look so fake. Those claws look so big, they didn't look like they could fit in his arm. I mean, at least with most of the films, it's believable. But those claws were just so big. I was like, there's no way even contracted they would fit in his arm. Like, how the hell do you mess up his claws? It looks worse than a movie that came out 9 years earlier. You're probably right. Have I played the Green Lantern Manhunter game? If you're talking about like Green Lantern on like PlayStation 3, I'm ashamed to say yes, I have played the movie tie-in video game, and yes, I did platinum that. I am ashamed to admit, yes, I did play that PlayStation 3 game, and I did platinum it. I didn't buy it. I rented it from GameFly, and I think I platinumed it in like a week. Maybe less. At least we got the Wolverine and Logan. Yeah, you know, the funny thing, a lot of people forget about the Wolverine. That movie's been kind of, no one really talks about that one too much either. But yeah, we got Logan. And that was a fantastic film. What is my favorite Virgil moment in all of DMC? Ooh. Favorite Virgil moment. I think my favorite Virgil moment was in Devil May Cry 3. And it was his quick dispatch of Beowulf. So Beowulf shows up and ambushes him. And Virgil cuts his head off with one cut. And then he takes the Beowulf weapons, and then he just pretty much mutilates the body or what's left of it. I would say that is probably my favorite Virgil moment. You love my Just Dance videos. They're my favorite. Oh, well, well, Mars, I appreciate that. I just wish that YouTube knew me for more things than those Just Dance videos that came out like 10 years ago. Because even to this day, my Ghostbusters video, it still gets hundreds of thousands of views a month. I've been living off of those two videos for the good portion of 10 years. And I feel bad about that because maybe those two videos are the reason my other videos don't get any attention. Because like those two videos alone are the reason I'm probably going to hit 100 million views next year. And like, I'm not sure if that's a good or bad thing. Because those were just test videos. Like literally the first Ghostbusters dance video, I literally was filming it from just my camera. That wasn't even on like a capture card. And then the second one was done on PlayStation 4 to test out the recordability of that. And somehow those videos blew up. And at one point, those videos had more views than the actual Ghostbusters music video. I couldn't believe it. Like if you type in Just Dance Ghostbusters, you're gonna see my video immediately at the top. And I still do not know how literally hundreds of thousands of people watch those two videos every single month. I get thousands of views daily. I still don't know why. I mean, I understand it gets a massive boost in October because of the Halloween season, but we're talking all year round. It's crazy. I still don't know how that happened. Alright, we still got about 15 minutes. Did you like playing the game or even like it? No. No. I don't think I liked it. But I would say when it came to trophy hunting, I would say the PlayStation 3 era was probably the most productive I'd ever been. I mean, that's when I had GameFly. I could rent 4 games at one point. I didn't have rent, so I had like a lot of money because I had like one job that was paying me like $750, which seems like peanuts now because I make twice that now. Actually, I make it 4 times that now. And I was just looking at what GameFly had and just renting whatever seemed easy. I mean, that's how I got out of my funk with Final Damnation 13 because the first game after I think it was 3 to 6 months of not playing anything, the first game I rented was Hannah Montana, and I platinumed that in about 3 hours, and that brought me out of my Final Damnation funk because it was a better game. Crazy. Hannah Montana saved my love for gaming. Ain't that something? When do you expect to hear something about Devil May Cry 6? I would imagine if they were going to announce another Devil May Cry, it probably will come out after the next Resident Evil game. There's a lot of talk that Resident Evil 9 will be announced. So I imagine we might get an announcement of Devil May Cry 6 maybe within the next 2 to 3 years. That's my prediction. Favorite shark movie? I guess my favorite shark movie would have to go to Deep Blue Sea with Thomas Jane and LL Cool J, and Samuel Jackson with the funniest death speech I've ever seen. I laughed I saw that with my mom. We laughed our ass off when Samuel Jackson got eaten by that shark. We were laughing our asses off. I was like, that's why you don't stand too close to the pool. Having this little Captain America moment, and then out of nowhere, a shark grabs him. That was funny. I think that might be my favorite Samuel Jackson death in any movie because you saw it coming. Do you think we're officially done with Dante and Virgil? I think we should be. I would be perfect. I openly expect and think it's time to move on from Dante and Virgil. With their rivalry over and them seemingly at peace, you don't really need Dante and Virgil. I would be totally for another game that focused solely on Nero. Or if not doing that, I think we could either get a solo Virgil game, but I think even better is if they give us a Sparta game. I would be totally down for a prequel game surrounded about Sparta. because the essence of Sparta is spread throughout the entire franchise, yet we've never actually seen him in action. That, I think, would make for an incredible game. Alright, we just got under 10 minutes. If you got any last questions, I get them at now. And just as a heads up, I'm not going to do a mystery stream today, but I promise I will do a mystery stream next Friday. I just want to install like 2 or 3 games. That way I've got options as for, depending on the mood of the stream next week, I'll decide what mystery game I'll pick. But I've just been busy these last few days, and a couple of things have happened, especially today, that have just kind of taken up my time. Sparta was originally going to have a game on the PSP, but they scrapped it. Damn, Spider Dante, that sucks. I would totally be for Sparta. Sparta absolutely deserves his own game because we just don't know. We don't know a lot about him. Like, they never really go into depth as for why he turned on the demons, or just see how powerful he really was. Like, I would be absolutely for that. I was disappointed when they canceled it as well. Yeah. I'm sure you, me, and a lot of people are disappointed. If it was about the police department section of Remake that made you... Okay, hang on. I did not hate it. I want to make that clear. I do not hate the Resident Evil 2 Remake. I just hate that first section. Once we're past the police station, I love that game. I just... Past that point, the game is great. It's incredible. Loved it past the police station. Once we're past that, the game is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That's it. That is all. That is the only bad thing I have to say about the remake of 2. It's just I just don't like the police section. Don't like it. Never have, never will. Heck, I hated it in the original game. So yeah. I just felt okay. So that was the question. It just felt like it felt too much like a maze, and it just took too long to get going. I didn't know exactly where to go, how to get there. I got Mr. X constantly chasing me. I'm burning resources. I'm running into zombies. There's lickers everywhere. Like, it was a maze. I mean, maybe that's to be expected, but like I understand that mazes are like a thing that have appeared in Resident Evil, but for that to be the opening section was just annoying. Like, anytime I actually, like, okay, put it this way. Anytime that during my first playthrough, I have to look at a walkthrough after trying to get past a section over a period of it took me, dude, I'm not even joking. The first time I played the remake, it took me a week to get through that section because I didn't know where to go. I kept going around in circles. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know how to get through it. I kept getting caught or actually running into Mr. X. There were zombies everywhere. There were lickers everywhere. It took me a week to get past that section. And it got annoying. But again, once I got past that section, the game was fine. Yeah, anytime I need a walkthrough to get past the opening section of the game on my first playthrough, there's a problem. I imagine you don't want to talk about thoughts on Kill the Justice League. I didn't play that. That was never Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That was never a game I was interested in. I heard things that happened in there, and I felt bad that apparently that's like the last we hear of Kevin Conroy's role. But like, and apparently that's supposed to be like the Arkham Batman. So like, that's how that version of Batman dies, which I think is disrespectful. But yeah, I didn't play it. It did not look like a game at all that I was gonna enjoy. And heck, I'm not even the biggest like Suicide Squad fan, so. All right, and we got about 5 more minutes. Man, a minute seems so cool. So fun. Man, I really hate this delay. We got 3 minutes, but I know you guys like are a minute behind, so I don't know how this is gonna work. And boy, I'm tired. Oh no worries, no worries. I think the stream's been good today, so yeah. I might just cut it here because I think the delay is really throwing me off. So I think that's what I'll do. But heck, this was fun. I promise we will have a mystery stream game next week for sure, 100%. And hopefully more people show up. I forgot to put out a notice that we had a stream, so that might be why not a lot of people showed up. And I think maybe moving forward, I'll be sure to send out a notice on my Twitter and Facebook that I'm live streaming, so hopefully more people show up. So yeah, I think that's what we'll do. So I want to thank all of you guys. I don't know like how far the delay will be when you guys see this, but thank you guys for joining this stream. You guys are awesome. I had a great time. I even saw a few new people, so heck, the reach of the channel is growing even by a little bit, but heck, every bit counts. And I will be sure to catch you guys next time.